And lastly, coming soon. It's an article I've been working on, a topic that I am actually pretty passionate about. It has to do with flock cameras. So this one's a little different for us because I don't usually pick topics that could be controversial, but I'm going to set it up carefully. I'm working on this article about flock cameras. If you're not familiar with flock cameras, they're license plate reader cameras that have been going up and around communities like ours and around the country. And here's the thing, this is not a hit piece on anybody. These cameras genuinely help solve crimes and find stolen cars. That's real and it matters. But there's another side that deserves daylight too. Who has access to the data? How long is it kept? And what it means when every car trip you take gets logged. Surveillance tools tend to grow quietly, and a community should get to decide these things out loud, not by default. There's a quote by Benjamin Franklin that I like to, I'm kind of centering this whole article and discussion about. And he says, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. So what the article is going to do is lay out the strengths, the weaknesses, and the questions we should be asking. And then I want your take. I also want law enforcement, elected officials, neighbors, everybody. So watch for it on hardinlocal.com. And when it drops, I'd really appreciate it if everybody would bring their perspective, because I do think there is some dangers out there around these cameras. So that's basically, that was my big thing that I've been wanting to talk about. And I think Nathaniel had a little post about it last week too on his page. But I've been looking into it because there's a lot of problems with their security, and there's a lot of problems with there's no warrant. I don't know how well access to the database is tracked, which means almost any. I don't know. That's the part I'm still researching. So if anybody knows those things, I do know that it doesn't require a warrant to pull that data. But so I think there's quite a few different things that should be discussed there, because we don't want to live in a surveillance state. And I don't think we're anywhere close to that, but we still should have a community discussion about it. And we here at Hardin Local I'll be posting it. And just to be very honest, and to look at our editorial policy, it says that things that I post doesn't mean any of my other hosts believe any of those things. So, if you get pissed at me about the article, doesn't mean anybody else of the host actually believes.
Well, and I think one of the big things about Hardin Local is we bring awareness, and then we create conversation around things, right? And so whether you think they're the best thing ever or you have concerns, I think it's interesting that you're bringing up the conversation, and that's the benefits of freedom, right? That we can have conversation, and then what we end up doing with that conversation, but it is an interesting topic to me. It's not something I've spent a ton of time in. However, I'm aware they're there, and these points that you just made are interesting to me. What is being done with the data? So I'm actually very curious about this article. I think it's going to create you're going to have some very strong opinion on both sides, but isn't that what we do here at Hardin Local? We want to hear people's input and feedback and create conversation. And so, yeah, I'm going to be really interested to read this article, Phil.
Yeah,
this isn't just a community thing. I've read some articles around the country. So I think it's a conversation that's coming up across the country. And so I find the timing of this perfect placed. So yeah, I'm interested in hearing more and reading more. So this will be good, Bill.
Yeah, we'll do it. And I think it's a good time too, just because it's election season. So then the politicians are more likely to address these type of issues with citizens. So I should have that done sometime this week, but I want to make sure that I get a few other questions answered before I talk.
Great. Well, thank you that's journalism right there. Thanks for digging into it for us.